Welcome to Midday. Our first guest joining us is Siobhan Richmond Justice, of course, from Nature's Fair. We welcome you again to the show, Siobhan.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So it is February, and we're talking about heart health because February, as we sort of mentioned earlier in the show, is all about heart and stroke awareness and keeping your heart healthy. And there's several things you can do. We know diet and exercise is huge, but supplements are big too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what can you tell us about that?
I mean, like you say, diet and exercise are a huge part of it. Supplements are really just a nice addition to help keep everything healthy. They can correct minor deficiencies, but really it's going to be your diet and exercise that's going to be the majority of what's keeping your heart nice and healthy.
Okay, so what would you recommend supplement-wise? Some of the things that you carry at Nature's Fair obviously are strictly to do with heart health, right?
Yes. Yeah. So when I originally thought what I was going to do today for heart health, I had omega-3s. But I realized as I look back at some of the segments we've done before, I've pretty much talked about omega-3s every time I've been on the show.
Well, it must be important then.
It is very important. But I figured maybe we'd take a little bit of a different look today because most people know about omega-3s for heart health. They're probably one of the best sort of published and talked about supplements for heart health.
Absolutely.
So I figured we'd talk about some stuff that's a little bit less common but still really important.
Okay, so what's our first thing here?
So first we've got magnesium here. This one happens to be a really nice powder.
Is it powder? Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, so you can add it into water. It's actually got a bit of an effervescence to it, so it's got a nice fizz.
Okay.
Great for adding into hot drinks before bedtime because it's really good for helping with relaxation. But in terms of heart health, because the heart is a muscle and it's always moving, it's always beating, it's one of those muscles that we'd really like to, give some downtime to and help it relax because it is always beating, it's always working. So magnesium, really important for helping to keep it slightly more relaxed, also good for relaxing the blood vessels. So for people who have high blood pressure, really good for them as well.
Would you suggest taking this then every day?
Yeah, it's definitely one that you'd want to take every day. There are some people that'll take it multiple times a day, but most people once is enough.
Just for the average person, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's this one right here?
That one there is actually, it's by the same company that does the magnesium.
Is it a powder as well? No.
No, it's a capsule. It's a combination there, really just good for general heart health. So it's got things like carnitine in there to help with producing energy in the heart.
Right.
Really important, again, because it's always working. We want it to have a good energy supply. Great for helping with any kind of cardiovascular issue, whether it's high blood pressure, high cholesterol, just a really good general heart health, and good for people who are just wanting prevention as well.
Okay, good tips. So could you take these both? I'm just curious as to whether you could take these together or if there's just sort of one or two that you should be taking.
I mean, you could definitely take all of them.
Yeah, it's not going to damage anything, right?
Exactly. There's none of these that really, other than this one has coenzyme Q10 and this one has a little bit in there.
Okay.
There's nothing really that overlaps here. They're all sort of doing different things and they're going to have other side benefits to your health as well. This one actually really popular for athletes because a lot of people notice improved cardiovascular health.
Interesting. Okay. All right, well, let's work our way down then, Siobhan. So we'll go to this one next. What's that?
This guy here is reishi mushroom. Mushrooms typically thought about for the immune system, but what reishi does is it's really good for helping with the body's stress response. And when we're stressed, things tend to go a little poorly in our heart. Things like our blood pressure will get elevated, our heartbeat tends to beat faster, and sometimes it doesn't circulate as well because it's just beating faster. It's not necessarily pumping the blood as effectively as when it's beating a little more slowly.
Okay.
So reishi, great for people who experience high blood pressure, especially in times of stress.
Okay, or maybe if you're sort of an anxious person or, high energy, that could be a good one to help you.
Yeah, definitely good for helping with a little bit of relaxation.
All right.
Next, we've got vitamin K2, which is one that's really good for helping to make sure that we're not getting any calcium deposits in our arteries.
Right.
So, of course, in the last especially decade or so, we've realized that a lot of people are deficient in calcium. So calcium supplementation is on the rise, which is great. You just need to make sure that it's going to your bones and not getting stored in the wrong place.
Yeah, that can be very dangerous, of course, as we know. And this one?
This one here is one of my favorite heart supplements. It's called Hawthorn. It's actually a little bright red berry. They've got the hawthorn flower on there, but typically they use the berry as the supplement component to it. And it's
what's
really
the benefits of that?
It's really good for general heart health. It strengthens the heart muscle, but it's also really cool in that it will help to regulate electrical issues in your heart.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so of course we think about the heart, you know, it has a series of contractions that it makes, but some people, you know, certain ventricles won't contract properly. Sometimes people have irregular heartbeats or their heart skips a beat.
Right.
Of course, you still want to see your doctor for any sort of issues like that.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
But Hawthorn is one that, especially if the doctors don't think that, you know, it's quite serious enough to do anything about, just sort of monitor it, Hawthorn can actually be really helpful. And I've had several clients in the store use the Hawthorn to great effect.
Really?
Yeah.
They noticed that difference?
Yeah, actually my mom used it for a while because she would notice her heart would skip a beat, and she finds it doesn't do it anymore. So she takes this all the time.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
All from a berry. Amazing.
Exactly.
And our last one, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what does it exactly do?
So CoQ10 is one that it's involved again in the energy production of the mitochondria, which are found in muscles. So of course they're really concentrated in the heart because our heart needs all that cellular energy. So CoQ10 really important for that. But something really important about CoQ10 is that anyone who's on a statin drug or a high blood pressure drug from the doctor, their bodies actually don't produce CoQ10 the way they're supposed to.
Oh, so this would be important for them.
Really important for them. And I know a lot of doctors are actually starting to recommend, if they are on a statin, that they supplement with CoQ10 as well. So just one that, you know, people who have been on a statin for a long time especially, they might want to consider taking some CoQ10.
Important. Great. Thank you so much, Siobhan. We appreciate you bringing in all these supplements. And of course, you can visit Nature's Fair. There's the information there on the screen, their phone number, their website, and maybe think about your heart this month, every month for sure, but particularly this month. So we really appreciate that. Thank you. We're back in 2 minutes with Arlene Olenek. Stay with us.